Good morning. Welcome to the live training. Now, I have never done a live before, so we will see how it goes. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me, if you can see me, if you have any questions at all, and if you're watching this later for the replay, still go ahead and comment with any questions. So we're just gonna start with a little bit of a warm-up, and I'm a little warm because I was moving some mats around, but this is sort of just a peek into what a typical class or private lesson with me might be like as we're learning new drills and skills. So there's certain areas that I always like to stretch, and then other days I just really feel into what my body feels like it needs. So if at any point you are like, oh, I just really want to stretch something, then go for it. No need to completely follow along. So I like to get into my wrists. And this is just a time to really slow down the mind and feel into the body. A lot of times we go through our day without really thinking about how our neck and shoulders are feeling. And then we wake up and we're like, oh, I'm a little stiff. So my first stretch of the day always feels like a treat, just getting into those shoulders. And then I'm gonna put fingertips down and trying to keep my chin more tucked here. I don't want to be throwing my neck back. Kind of keep a nice neutral neck and back. And when I go back and feel those shoulder blades pulling together, oh, it feels so good. Oh yeah, and then shake that out. Then let's roll our ankles. So this is a great practice in balance. And our feet do so much work in the silks. We have to get used to building up that tolerance. And then other side, feel free to use a chair, whatever you need for balance. And just waking those feet up. And then we're gonna come into little toe raise balances. So we're gonna come up, hold, and then down. Lift those toes up, hold, whoop, down and lift those toes. Now when I go to the side, I don't wanna be out sticking, I wanna stay tucked. So when I come up, I'm thinking about pulling my core in, squeezing my butt, squeezing my thighs, and then back and up, finding that control at the top. And then back. Good, good. Let's just come into a forward fold, into a hang. So I tend to like my hips a little wider, or my legs a little wider than hip distance. And just fold down and swing. My heels are just lifting off the ground with each swing to the side. Letting my neck really hang loose here. And then I'm gonna rock up into a little side stretch. Oh yeah. Reach long. Feel that stretch all through the side here. And then swing it down. I'm kind of going into a bent knee now to relax those hamstrings. And then up to the side, straight legs. So don't stay here, rotate open to the sky. Big stretch through the side. This feels amazing, so good. Let's do one more on each side. So we're gonna swing down just as many times as you want to kind of feel loose again. And then bring it up. Oh yeah. Rotate, open. This is great for any of those aerial positions, star, hip key, where we want to think nice open chest. And over to the side. And then over. Good. So we're not going to do too long of a stretch here. We're just kind of waking the body up. And flat back up and over. We're not going to get too strenuous. We're kind of just going to work some drills. So I'm just doing a nice lunge here. I'll turn to the side so you can see. My knee stays above my ankle, and I'm focusing on stretching this hip. So when I go forward, I'm not like bottoming out in my ribs. I want to stay tight in my core and really isolate that stretch into my front hip. And just stretch into that. Good. And breathe. And when I exhale, I just kind of sink a little deeper into that. Good. And then I'll straighten back, flex. Now, if any of you watched my 15-minute stretch, you'll see some of these in there. These are some of my tried and trues for getting the legs prepared for splits. And then rock that back, knees together. A nice flat back. So I know when we're working on flexibility, we really want to reach far, right? And so a lot of times we'll compromise good form to feel like we're getting further. So for instance, if I keep a flat back here, this is where I really start to feel my stretch. I'm feeling it pretty big in the back of my hamstring here, behind the knee. Now if I curled, that doesn't really activate me too much. But I want to focus on actually gaining more flexion. So I'm going to just stay with a flat back, stay with nice form, and not worry about getting all the way down to the ground. Now if you stay upright, you can kind of try some toe touches here and just see how that feels. Good, and then we'll come up and let's come to the other side. So for today, we're mostly just going to be focusing on practicing some drills, doing some inverts, some hip key practice, and we'll see what we have time for. I'm keeping an eye on the clock. It'll be 15 minutes of drills, kind of a 5-minute stretch. So we're almost to the end of our stretch here. Just getting the body prepared to do a little bit of work. And flex. Okay. And all the way back. Make sure you can see here. So I'd love to know if you have some favorite stretches, some favorite exercises, or some drills you'd really like to work on that maybe we can do this week. Please let me know. I always love to know what you all like to work on. And also, let me know where you're at in your aerial journey. Have you been training for a while? Are you a few years in? Are you just getting started? It's perfect no matter where you're at. And you know, we go through cycles and phases. So I'll tell you about the project in a little while, but this project has had me in front of the computer for many months. And so I haven't been training as much. So I'm kind of doing these drills for myself also. So you might see me struggle a little bit. But you know, no matter if we've taken a break, it's always good to come back to the practice. Sure you can still see me pretty good here. Tomorrow I might move the camera forward if I need to. So we're going to just start by putting on a footlock and opening up our hips just a little bit more here. So I like mine basically right off of my hip. You can go higher or lower. So we want to just, if we don't have to hold on, that's even better. But if it makes you feel more stable and comfortable, go ahead and hold on to that other pole. And we're just opening up. Now when I go to the side, I'm thinking turn out through my knee. I'm not rolling in. Keep it nice. And then on this next one, we're going to bring it all the way to the back. And as I come to the back, I do let my chest drop. That's fine. And then out, rotate that hip up and come forward. So let's do 2 more like that. Knee is out, 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 out. Then it comes around to point at the ground. Rotate back up through that hip, knee is up, and come back in. And 1 more. Out, rotate. So I'm feeling this in both of my hips and come around. I love this one for just getting a nice balanced stretch into the hips. Make sure you're not standing on your tail here. Go. Okay. So just kind of waking up that hip out to the side. This can help you really recognize your range of motion too, because we don't have our weight on top of it. We have more freedom of movement. So I find that it can really help me telegraph what's going on with my body, where I really feel it the most. So for me, right here, when I get to that back point, right before I roll over, I really feel it waking up that hip joint. And 1 more. Okay, and then just going to do a little bit of a shoulder warm up here before we come into our drills. So I'm going to reach forward. I'll go to the side actually so you can see. Okay, so I kind of have my hands right off my chest. I'm going to reach forward and I'm going to come down. So I'm kind of hanging into this, like I'm thinking about pulling my shoulder blades together, but I'm getting a nice hamstring stretch. Now from here I'm going to lean out. Maybe widen that stance so you don't fall. Good. Pull back through the heels. Rotate up. Yeah, so let's keep our stance a little wider actually. Out. Rotate. Drop. Let the head hang. Plank out. Big shoulder stretch here. Pull back in and up. Now you want to make sure you're behind your point and your arms are right under your point. See what I mean by that? Otherwise, it might be hard to balance. Behind. And then pull it back in. Good, good. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with some hip key. We're going to do 4 progressions. So whatever progression you feel like you want to keep working on, stick with it. I'm just going to give 4 so that every student that's here has something to work on in regards to hip key. So the very first is just the way that I teach it for someone who's never done hip key before, from the ground to feel the wrap. So we start with the fabric on the outside of our body, inside leg steps forward, reach between the legs, grab that tail. So now I'm going to bring it over my outside leg, step in front of it, and bring it to my hip. So you're very familiar with hip key, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I know what's happening here. Then we lean back into it, kind of like we're rock climbing. Lean back, my outside leg kicks up and over. And then I can hang into my hip key. I can really feel what the wrap feels like here. And then when we come out, let's really practice coming out nice and with control. This is a great drill. I have my silk tucked into my armpit or my elbow here. Out, straddle, roll in. Out, straddle, roll in. Good, okay? And then drop it. Let's come to the other side. Who has a favorite hip key side? I do. I definitely have one side that feels more natural, but you know, sometimes when you're doing choreography, you really need to do it on that other side to sequence the way that you want. So it's always good to practice both sides. And then lean back. Rock climbing type of feeling here. Lift up, key into that pole. Feel those obliques work here. Tuck the tail into the elbow crease. Open, close. Open, close. So when I'm back, my core is engaged, my arms are engaged. Back. One more. Open, back. Good. So if you are working on getting those windmills, that drill will help a lot. So now we're going to do the climb variation. We're just going to do this from a Russian climb or military climb. Fabric on the outside. Pick up. Stand. Okay, so now my tail is draped over the top of my left leg. I'm just going to bring it between my legs over my thigh. From here, I'm going to step this leg through. So I'm going to drive this knee up to the chest to create a break. Lift off, drop, slide. Hip key. All right? See if you can grab your ankles here. Really feel this nice fold in. Good. Okay. So let's try our other side. Oh boy. Climbing on this side is definitely not something I do very often, which I should. Take the tail up. Knee to chest. Through. Open. Hip key. Let me know if you're getting that, okay? All right, now we're gonna go into our probably most widely used hip key entrance, which is the windmill. Let me get a sip of water real quick first. So, with the windmill hip key, there are a lot of pieces that make it work. So what I've noticed with my students is that one area might feel stronger than another. So we just really focus on getting each phase, the 3 phases, really clean, and then piece that together. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna start by just doing the leg lift to the side. Let me see. I think I wanna come on this side too. Okay, so I have my legs staggered. What I'm gonna think about is pulling up through my arms and kicking my legs really high to the side. I wanna think about bringing my feet up about here. So when I come up, kick. My chest is leaning away from my legs. I almost wanna get horizontal. So this is going to require obliques. Pull up. Okay, so watch my arms, pull up, legs. Now that time I did it separate. You want to do it together. So when it happens all together, legs, right? Okay, let's try that on the other side. So we're going to go pull up, legs. Kick the legs really far to the side. Legs. My chest is leaning. 2 more. Good. 1 more. Excellent. Okay. Now we're going to bring it into the next step, which is hitting that straddle. We're just going to go for the straight leg version here. As you're working on it, there is a bent leg version, but for today, we're just going to go straight legs with everything. So we're going to lean to the side, hit the straddle. See how I want to almost be able to hold that? Come down. Okay? Pull it up through the arms, leaning back. Not too much. I don't want to feel like I'm doing an invert. It's really a stall. Tight core, lifted legs. That's also where like these practices really come in handy of getting that control to be able to hold your leg up. 2 more. I'm feeling it. Who's feeling it? Okay. Lift. And down. Last one on this side. Lift. And down. Okay. So let's come to the other side. Whew. And this is one of the moves that surprises people sometimes. Of like, normally they'll like something on one side, but when it comes to the hip key, all of a sudden they seem to be dominant on the other side. All right, so we're gonna lift up and hold that straddle. Lift, hold, down. Lift, hold, down. Last one, and then we're gonna do the full motion. Lift, hold, down. Good. Okay, so since we just worked a lot of our pulling motion, we're gonna do a couple push-ups. So you can do them on your knees, or you can do them planked out style. This is really important. It's something my very first aerial teacher taught me, and I didn't do it for a little bit, and I ended up with some elbow issues. So when we do all of that pulling, which we do so much in aerial, we really need to work the opposite muscles of pushing. So let's come down, do a few push-ups. Six feels good. Let's just do 6. Okay. All right, so now we'll take it into the full hip key. And then we're basically gonna be at time today. So tomorrow we will work on our inverts. So for hip key, full motion. Let me come back to this side. Legs, straddle, roll. And when I roll, I have to be willing to let my hands slide and my chest slide with it. Sometimes what happens is people get afraid to drop the chest. They feel like they're gonna fall. But essentially you need to fall into the wrap. You need to slide into that slide. So let's do a couple more. We'll do them a little faster this time. Lift, straddle, roll. Okay. Whoops, this is lower to the ground than I thought. And last one on this side. Very nice. Who is feeling like their hip keys are giving them something to work on? Or who's feeling really good with their hip keys? They're like, you know what, this feels really solid. I did say 4 variations, didn't I? Okay, I'll give you one more after this. 3 on this side. Roll. You got 2 more in you, let's do it, come on. Roll, good. Now Now, depending on how much you train or how much you practice these drills, you might feel this tomorrow, which is a good thing. It means you're getting stronger. And one more. Roll. Very good, very good. Okay, so since we'll be working on our inverts tomorrow, we will build more up to this variety, which is the invert variety, but I'll still show it to you. We're not going to drill it though, but if you want to stay on after and drill it, go for it. More power to you. So this is an invert from an opposite side hook. So I'm going to come up, hook, climb above, shoot, hip key. Okay. So tomorrow we'll work inverts, but not the whole time. We'll also go into another couple of drills I thought we'd get to today, but we really dialed in our hip key today, which is great. So I am going to tell you about this project I've been working on real quick. It is called the flight deck, and these are just the version I printed at home, but the actual deck is on its way to me. It will arrive for my birthday. So these are aerial silk tutorial cards. There's a QR code there in the corner that takes you to a tutorial for the moves. This is such a passion project that I am so crazy about. I think they're absolutely beautiful. And so you can use the deck if you already know these moves, which you probably don't know all of them, but if you do, you can still, my intention with the deck is to shuffle the cards, you know, pull a few, and then be like, okay, here's my sequence that I'm working on today. That way you don't have to be on Instagram during your open gym time searching for something to watch and then trying to break it down. And how did she do that? I mean, that's how I've learned over the years, but it spent hours of watching it over and over and over, trying to figure out exactly what was going on. So this just takes that guesswork out. You scan the QR code, it takes you right to the tutorial. So I am offering a very special deal on these for the launch for my birthday. You can use coupon code Happy Birthday at checkout, aerialesteem.com. Happy Birthday gets you 20% off. And right now we're actually in early adopter pricing, so the price probably will go up a few months from now, but this coupon code is going away on the 30th after my birthday. My birthday is the 29th. So use coupon code Happy Birthday to get 20% off these beautiful 52 cards, 52 aerial silk tutorial cards. Thank you so much for coming to the live today, for watching my channel over all these years. It absolutely means the world to me. I'm so grateful that I've been able to make any kind of impact on the aerial world, because aerial is something that has just brought so many unique experiences to my life and helped me get fit and feel empowered and brave and confident and strong. And so I'm so thankful to all of you who have been with me on this journey. Happy training, and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be at 9 a.m. because we got people coming into the gym. So I got to get in a little earlier tomorrow. But if you can't be here live, no problem. Just catch the replay, and I will see you later. Bye.